Welcome back. Today I'm going to talk to you about nutrition and being very specific with nutrition for elite and professional athletes. Nutrition is going to depend on the type of training that you're doing, whether that's strength training or aerobic training. Nutrition will depend on the type of training that you're doing within a particular day. That's how much training you're doing and the balance of aerobic versus strength. And your nutrition will depend on what you're planning to do the next day. You need to be thinking ahead so your nutrition will cover your planned exercise for the coming days and weeks ahead. So, regarding specificity in nutrition, you need to be training specifically for your event, so your nutrition must also be specific. Okay, so let's take a look at some sports with extreme energy expenditures. For example, ultra marathon running, people can use in excess of 13 to 16,000 kilocalories a day. Crossing the Antarctic is 6,000 calories a day. An Ironman triathlon uses approximately 9,000 kilocalories. Long distance cycling, such as the Tour de France, athletes can be using up to 9,000 kilocalories a day. Also, cross country skiing is very calorie demanding, and these athletes need to take in very high kilocalorie amounts throughout the day to support their training. Now, there are also demands placed on athletes that are in extreme strength and extreme speed sports. Things like NFL players need extreme strength. Sprinters need both extreme strength and speed. And these require specific nutritional diets as well.
Let's start with pre-workout nutrition. Pre-workout nutrition should include a complex variety of micronutrients, minerals, and phytochemicals. Things like fruits and vegetables, whole grains, fiber, prebiotic fibers, and probiotics to support your gastrointestinal system.
Nutrients and minerals. Here's an example of some pre-workout nutrition. You could have fruits on a whole grain cereal, such as these all bran buds, with yogurt, such as this probiotic kefir yogurt. You can see here, if we look at the vitamin and mineral list for these all bran buds, that there is a significant contribution to the daily value in a large variety of vitamins and minerals, and this will support your athlete's workouts throughout the day. So you're kind of looking for foods like this. This is just an example. Also supporting your athlete with prebiotic fiber and probiotic microorganisms, such as found in kefir, can boost the immune system and keep your athlete well and keep their immune system strong. It's important that athletes pre-workout eat around 1 to 2 grams of carbohydrate per kilogram of body weight, and that should be 1 to 2 hours before their workout. Now, on race day, your athletes will need to consume low fiber foods. These high fiber foods are just for training days. Included in your pre-workout nutrition plan should be pre-workout hydration. You need to drink 500 ml of fluids in the 1 to 2 hours prior to working out. One of the sources of those fluids, and an ideal thing to complement pre-workout nutrition, is a couple of cups of coffee, because 100 to 200 milligrams of caffeine, approximately 2 cups of coffee, has been shown to support neuromuscular strength and endurance, and that will help with training and racing. Okay, let's move on to workout nutrition. First of all, let's discuss hydration. It's incredibly important for athletes to hydrate during their workouts. Um, During different types of workouts, athletes can lose large volumes of liquids via sweat. Working out with cardio equipment, sweat rates have been measured on averaging around 800 mils an hour. Weight training about 600 mils an hour. Kickboxing up to 900 mils an hour. Step aerobics and cycling, 800 milliliters per hour. Yoga less, but hot yoga, of course, the athlete's going to use a vast lose a vast amount of sweat in high temperatures. So it's important to note that athletes vary widely in sweat rates, and this differs greatly from person to person, so you need to personalize each athlete's hydration strategy. The way to do this is to measure the weight loss of an athlete from a typical workout and to replace the majority of that weight during their workouts by drinking every 15 to 20 minutes. Now, it's okay for an athlete to lose up to 3% of their body weight during a workout, but more than that will start to compromise their workouts and their recovery. So, in general, most athletes will require between 500 and 800 mils of liquids per hour, although the American College of Sports Medicine notes that this should be personalized for each athlete. If you don't know what your sweat rate is, start with 500 mils of liquids per hour, but not more than 800 mils per hour. Okay, regarding carbohydrates, it's important to take in carbohydrates during long workouts. That would be workouts of longer than 40 minutes. The human body can metabolize between 60 and 90 grams of carbohydrates per hour. Exceeding these intakes is not recommended because it can lead to gastrointestinal distress. So the question is, how should you take in those carbohydrates? Should you take in gels or bars or drinks? Well, studies have been done, and in fact, there's no difference between taking carbohydrates via liquids or carbohydrates in gels or bar form. So you can choose to take in carbohydrates in whichever form you like. Now let's look at carbohydrate blends. With a placebo in this experiment, a cyclist cycled a 1 hour time trial in 67 minutes. They went faster using glucose and faster still when using a mixture of glucose and fructose during their 1 hour time trial. The reason for this is that there are two receptors in your gastrointestinal tract, a glucose receptor and a fructose receptor. By taking in a mixture of glucose and fructose, you can intake up to 90 grams of carbohydrate per hour, which will enhance your ability to perform endurance activities more quickly. Okay. Next, let's talk about post-workout recovery. There are really 4 key areas you want to concentrate on for post-workout recovery. The first thing you need to do after a hard and long workout is to restore muscle glycogen through consuming carbohydrates. The next thing you need to do is restore fluid levels through hydration. And lastly, you want to think about reducing soreness by consuming antioxidants, things like tart cherry juice, and other nutrients. And finally, you need to take in protein to help rebuild damaged muscles and improve muscle synthesis. Let's look at post-workout hydration. With post-workout hydration, here's a hydration index. Things to the right of this yellow line are better than water at hydrating you. And you can see that as we come up here, that things like orange juice, whole milk, skimmed milk are particularly good for rehydration after hard workouts. And of course, the best is this oral rehydration solution, which is specifically formulated for rehydration. How much protein do you need after a workout? That depends a little bit on what kind of workout you're doing. If you're working with weight training, large muscle mass, large muscle groups, it's maybe necessary to take as much as 40 grams of protein directly after your workout. For endurance athletes with smaller muscle mass and smaller requirements for protein, around 20 grams of protein post-workout is essentially enough. Athletes who are looking to strengthen muscle groups and masters athletes should also consider taking 20 to 40 grams of protein just before they go to sleep at night. Here we go. Post-workout recovery, aim for 20 to 25 grams of protein. More if you're working with heavy weights and large muscle groups. Leucine content is important in the protein. You need to aim for 3 grams of leucine. So you need high quality proteins which contain the essential amino acids, 8 to 10 grams of essential amino acids. And also to support your muscle resynthesis, eating regular meals throughout the day will help. Let's look at protein quality. You can see here protein quality from the left, high protein quality to lower protein quality. Animal sources are higher quality sources of protein than plant protein sources. However, you can, if you're a vegetarian, meet your protein requirements of essential amino acids and leucine by mixing different vegetarian protein sources. Lastly, let's look at muscle glycogen resynthesis. This is essential after your workout. What you need to know is that after a workout, if you delay carbohydrate ingestion up to 2 hours, you can resynthesize only up to this level, which will compromise in the long term your workouts for the next day and the day following. If you immediately ingest carbohydrate, there's a small window of time around 1 hour in which you can ingest carbohydrates and get very high rates of glycogen resynthesis. So by ingesting carbohydrates in the amounts of 1 gram of carbohydrate per kilogram of body weight directly after a hard workout, you can start to maximize your glycogen resynthesis and support heavy workouts for the next workout, either later that day or in the next day. I suggest that athletes replace their workout calories with at least half the calories within 15 minutes of finishing. And those calories would include carbohydrates and protein. And here's my simple recommendation for post-workout recovery drinks. You can have chocolate milk, or if you're lactose intolerant, soy milk is a reasonable alternative. Here again, 20 grams of high quality protein or 40 grams for resistance training. This is combined with carbohydrate in these very simple and relatively inexpensive recovery drinks. Thanks so much. I hope that tour of workout nutrition was helpful. Look forward. This is the references and disclaimer page. The reference textbook that most of these videos follow is Understanding Nutrition by the authors Rolfs and Whitney. That's I use the 15th edition by Cengage Publishing. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's called Nutrition, Fast and Fun. There's lots of great videos that you'll find there. And finally, there's a medical disclaimer. You should read the medical disclaimer to make sure you fully understand your rights and responsibilities. Thank you and have a great day. To speaking to you again soon.